Narcissists are known to be self-absorbed, and chances are they usually became that way because at some point in their childhood, they buried their true selves and they became this false version of themselves that they present to most people in the world today. This false self is the thing that causes them to try to pretend like they're something they're not, they're more than they are. They become grandiose in their behavior. This is one of the most common things with narcissists. Of course, the thing that seems to unite all narcissists is the lack of empathy they have for other people in their life. While most people seem to think that narcissists are incredibly arrogant and full of themselves, the truth is most of them secretly kind of feel like the ugly duckling in their lives. They kind of feel like not everybody gets them and their beauty is misperceived if perceived at all. They project this idealized self-image because it makes them feel stronger about themselves and more secure in themselves, but they fail to really thrive in that way because they don't really have actual self-esteem. These are the types of people that need to stand on the shoulders of other people in order to feel better. In reality, they project this image because they don't want to feel like or even be seen as their truly broken selves. So narcissists don't really believe they're worthy, and because of that, they tend to use a bunch of different little ways to kind of deceive us into seeing the false self as well. Because they don't think they're worthy, they use scheming and manipulation and other kinds of tactics in order to seem like more than they are. So right now we're going to talk about different kinds of lies narcissists are known to tell their victims, and especially their main sources of supply, but even just strangers in the street sometimes. So let's start with this one. It's not my fault. I didn't do that. In fact, it's your fault. What are we talking about? Well, narcissists commonly use this tactic. They do not take responsibility for their own behaviors or their own actions, unless those actions result into something good. So, for example, if as a victim you prove to a narcissist that in fact they did victimize you in some way, they're more likely to flip it around on you. For example, if you catch a narcissist cheating on you, they might tell you that it's your fault because you weren't interesting or fascinating enough or whatever enough for them. In reality, it's their fault for not being able to commit to you. But they'll make it your fault. And in fact, they're so good at doing this that very often we believe them when they tell us these lies. If they don't directly blame you, very often they'll have another excuse for doing it, like, well, it wasn't really my fault. I fell over and I fell into that person. Or they will somehow make themselves out to be the victim, using the cheating example. Well, this person just pursued me so much I had no choice, or I didn't really do it. It was not, it was sort of done to me, and they make it about, again, being a victim. So that is the first type of lie. The second type of lie a narcissist will often tell you is, I'm here for you. I care about you. I love you. Now, does that mean they don't really care about you or love you? We've talked about this before. Narcissists are cell phone lovers. They love you like they love a cell phone, right? So they love a cell phone when it's new and shiny and does all the things, but as it starts to slow down and becomes more familiar to them and new exciting cell phones come out on the market, they stop loving it so much. Same deal for people. It's an object kind of love instead of a person kind of love. They have this ability to be incredibly charismatic, incredibly charming if they want to, and as though they were master salespeople, very often they have the ability to make you think, feel, believe whatever they want. And at the beginning of a relationship, this can be really intoxicating. They will let you know they think you're amazing, gorgeous, intelligent, amazing, wonderful at the beginning of a romantic relationship, and then as time goes on, they quickly pick apart everything about you. Now, if we're talking about a family relationship, they may pop in with, oh, you're so this or that or the other thing occasionally, but you already know that you're not good enough because of years and years of conditioning. They do this in the romantic relationships without even really bothering to know you as a person, which kind of, throws you off a little bit. They go, oh, you're the person I've been waiting for my whole life. They don't really know who you are yet. And that is part of the reason that sometimes they ghost you or they just turn on a dime. But the other part of it is because even if they do know you, they don't know you as flawed yet. Once they start to see you as flawed, then suddenly everything changes for them. The unfortunate thing with a narcissist, though, in this case, is that they want you to feel special, for sure, but it's not because they want you to feel good, it's because they want something from you. And this is the case whether we're talking about a romantic situation or not. They use this type of language, this type of flattery to sort of seduce you or, cause you to fall into whatever it is that they want from you. This kind of lie causes you to kind of be left picking up the pieces. Whether you're in a romantic relationship or a family relationship, it's very painful. The next one is, I'm disappointed in you, or you weren't there for me when I needed you. Narcissists, a lot of them need constant attention and constant validation. They feel important when they get treated with a certain kind of kid gloves. If you have the nerve to choose something else as a primary priority over them, even your own children, very often they consider that a failure on your part. They become agitated. You see the narcissistic rage, you see the narcissistic injury, the poor me act, and then they'll accuse you of being such a disappointment or very selfish or all about you, or just that you're not there for them. In reality, that's just narcissistic injury, them throwing a little tantrum trying to get what they want from you. If you do find yourself getting accused of things like that, ask yourself, are you being treated with real respect by this person? Are this person's demands and expectations even reasonable? Are you getting what you're giving as much as you're giving out of this relationship overall? And do you feel good about yourself in the relationship? These are important questions to ask yourself. Another thing narcissists are famous for lying about is the fact that they'll change. Now, do I think a narcissist can change? And we've talked about this a lot of times. Yeah, I think it's possible. I've just never seen it happen. But because they kind of operate on lies, they kind of operate on the false self, the inauthenticity, the consequences can lead to their true selves coming out and everybody around them finding out. And that's really scary for a narcissist. So when and if it happens where they're caught and they can't deny it and their true self has been revealed, very often a narcissist will say, I'm so sorry, I failed, I'll change. Think about all those preachers from the 80s who got caught doing bad things and saying the devil made them do it. It's a similar thing, even though they weren't technically taking responsibility for their own behavior. But what most psychologists will tell you is that even if a narcissist does create some temporary change by going to therapy or being involved in some program, very often as soon as the crisis ends, they go back to their old ways and they start being a narcissist again. They start hurting people and being not empathetic and not caring how people feel. Another lie narcissists tell is that you shouldn't worry about stuff, or that they don't need to worry about stuff. And part of the reason for that is they literally very often think they're kind of above the law. Like, okay, well, I did break the law, but don't worry about it. It'll be fine. I know people there. Or I won't get caught because I'm different than other people. Or they even justify to themselves that they didn't really break the law because they're different than whoever really broke the law. Because they don't care about rules, they don't care about boundaries, they're more likely to do things that cross the line. So for example, they might cut in line because they figure nobody behind them is as important as they are. Or they might break the rules of the highway because they think, again, that whatever they're doing is more important than the law. Breaking the rules makes them feel special and entitled and exceptional. So they might break relationship rules, they might break legal laws, whatever. They do it because they think they're different, and by doing things that are unacceptable for most people, they somehow feel more special and unique and exceptional. One of the more common lies narcissists will tell you is this one: I promise. They promise to do something. They promise to follow through. They promise to be faithful. They promise to pay a bill. They promise to do whatever. And you end up going, you promised and you didn't deliver. And then they're mad at you for calling them out for promising and not delivering, because of course then they'll say, well, I didn't really promise. I really said I'll do it if I can do it. That's obviously not the truth. They only meet their obligations if it suits their own interests. So they will say what they need to say in the moment, and they only follow through if it suits them in the long run. They don't do things to help you. They do things to use you, to get what they want. They're the good talk the talk but don't walk the walk types. And you probably already know that researchers tell us that narcissists are unfailingly unreliable. They are cheaters. They are manipulative, and they don't have very good trust levels when it comes to being in relationships with them. The next type of lie narcissists tell is, I'm so amazing. And they expect you to believe that lie too. They will go on and on about what amazing accomplishments they have. They'll brag, they'll showboat, name drop, exaggerate, whatever it takes to be impressive. They want people to be impressed with them. Tons of studies, writings, research, all of it has proven that narcissists are well known to be grandiose, well known to be overinflated in their sense of self, to say the least. They want you to know that they are special, they are important, they are powerful, they are someone who matters. They talk about themselves in ways that make them seem amazing, egotistical for sure, but definitely amazing. They want you to know that they're better than you, they're superior to you, and you should envy them. Of course, like we mentioned, on the other side of that, the deep down inside part of it, really they think they're not good enough at all, and they think that they need to pretend to be better than they are in order to impress people. And that brings me to my final point, and that my final lie that narcissists tell, and that is that they're better than everybody else. They're better than you, they're better than that person over there, and all the other people. And this comes right back to the grandiosity factor. Because in real life, they don't think a lot of themselves. In real life, they think they're not worth anything. They kind of think they're garbage, but they have to somehow, inside and out, inflate themselves so that they think they appear to be more important or special or whatever than they are. Sometimes this is because they grew up with parents who told them they were worthless. Sometimes it's because they grew up with parents who told them they were amazing, but they actually saw no proof of such amazingness. And so it's kind of a mixed bag there. The truth is that they have concocted this false self in order to appear to be something they want to be, but it's really about disguising what they think is the truth, and that is that they think they're not worth anything. They have a serious inferiority complex many times. And since they can't feel good about themselves alone, they can't validate themselves. They need to sort of look at other people and go, well, at least I'm better than that person. And so they put other people around them down in order to raise themselves up. It's a really sad story if you think about it. This brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you experienced a narcissist who told these types of lies? And what other types of lies would you add to my list? Share your thoughts, your ideas, and your experiences in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. All right, that's all I've got for you right now. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. And don't forget, check out the videos in the links above and in the description below for more on how to deal with narcissists and what kinds of things you can learn about narcissists. I'll see you soon.